where we've seen him make a lot of these greedy decision-making plays where he typically gets caught out in the enemy jungle.
So you're hoping stability comes through here from the side of Xiaohan and Max so that Mole can be heightened once again. It was in that first week that you saw glimpses of hope through Mole. But ever since then, ever since the change in roster and the big break, V5 have been falling apart. But OMG have not. OMG are looking better than ever. OMG have their 2017 Classico bottom lane in SMLZ and 5, now known as Cold. With FLICKR in the jungle, with the new top laner in Curse, and with Icon performing better than ever. Let's see if they can solidify this series and make it a clean 2-0. Now, because Mole is playing with Y4 on center, he has gone for the Heartseeker Lucian skin. That's absolutely beautiful.
Very good choice coming out from Mole, getting that natural skin lore synergy going on.
Natural skin lore. Yeah, I like it. Okay. Y4 hasn't put any effort in. Wait, is that true damage? Yeah, that's Prestige True Damage Center, so that's cool. We need a Heartseeker Center. I believe that'll be on the horizon. Did you see the other day we have a Star Guardian Urgot now entering set? They made it!
We have a Star Guardian Urgot?
It's coming, yeah! How fantastic is that? Now all we need is Star Guardian Fiddlesticks.
I do want to say Urgot is a very good lane counter to the GP, so if we see teams blind picking that GP, yeah. I'd love to have some Star Guardian Urgot in the LPL.
We had a lot of Urgot previously. I want to point out that while we were coming into Summoner's Rift, Xiaohan did get bullied out early, backed away, and now returns to the top side as trade comes through, but the ward is the first minion kill of the game for SMLZ.
We do also have this Comment Lethality Varus that you talked about. You do have a pretty squishy team comp coming out from Victory 5. They do have some tankiness in the Tahm Kench and the Renekton, but considering their engage options are all on Xiaohan, seems like SMLZ feels very confident that he'll be able to kite back with the Chains of Corruption and Cold's Yuumi.
So is it a similar composition in your eyes to game #1 for OMG? Is it just recycled with different champions?
Yes, it is very similar composition. There are things I really like about it. You put Varus and Yuumi in the bot lane, which typically would need a lot of vision and protection coming out from enemy teams, but since they've drafted Ascendant Tahm Kench, Victory 5 have also signaled that they want to play towards the solo lanes themselves.
Just look at Xiaohan, because he's not able to finish that Krug camp. He's gotten really, really low on his clear, and with that ward, they saw him backing away. Look at what Curse is doing. He was trying to stop the retreat from the V5 jungler. But now Xiaohan, he's completed 2 camps and he's behind.
Xiaohan is set so behind, and this is a composition that we would have liked to see snowball when you are drafting things like the Lucian and Renekton, which really want to get to these strong 1-2 item power spikes quickly and end the game by 20-25 minutes.
And now FLICKR at level 3 has found himself Y4. Cocoon will connect, and look at Cold over the wall. The Yuumi just gets the auto attack and leaves. But a bit of extra gold as trading in the top lane will continue rather here for Curse. Half health from Alias, but should be able to smack him back a few. And we're going to do this in mid lane as well. Mole over the wall, but Icon, I think he should be confident in this trade. He now has Conqueror available. Mole gets smacked back, but not enough mana to follow through. As blue buff taken away. A lot happening across the map here in the early game. Seems to be for OMG's favor.
Yep, a lot happening across the map. OMG being able to use that Varus Yuumi well. They always will have priority in this bot lane, so they can constantly look for invades on the enemy jungle. And we were just seeing that trade in the mid lane. Typically, you do... Jaces have 3 options on what rune they could go for, but...
I'm going to be dashing away from the Cocoon there, and I hate to interrupt you, but at this point, Xiaohan, he fell so far behind in the start of the map that we saw before. The ward that spotted him out from OMG means that they know he's looking to recover towards the top side. FLICKR is a level up, 10 CS up, and has gotten both Scuttle Crabs in this early game.
Just great information coming out from OMG in this early game. It's like you talked about, since they've seen his path, they know consistently where he's going to go. And we've known OMG's a side that plays for Curse in the early game. It is typically where FLICKR looks with his ganks, set Curse up for success, and then they feel fine leaving him alone on his island to play out the game by himself.
But Xiaohan is coming behind. Can he get something out of this full health bottom lane? Well, flash forward might say yes. SMLZ needs one more, but he flashes away himself. Shahan coming in with Predator on top for Cold. Who goes first is the teleport to match. It's double TP from both top laners, but SMLZ is already dead. First blood to the behind. Gragas' curse now has to leave. OMG, after their early advantage, give it right back.
Wave mismanagement coming out from OMG. If FLICKR did just force Xiaohan out of his topside jungle, you know he has no bot side camps available as you had just invaded that side. So it really left him with no other options than he either ganks mid on Icon or ganks bot on SMLZ and Cold. So you should have been able to deduce where he was headed.
And Icon, I believe, uses teleport to get back towards the mid lane only moments ago. So one turret plating here taken away for the cost of that first blood. Something
else to highlight on the side of Victory 5 is Alias did back pick up the Executioner's Calling, which will help him in the trades against Curse's Aatrox. And he's getting very far ahead on the CS, but his wave right now is in a pretty bad position if FLICKR does decide to look top once again.
Yeah, on that note, 15 CS advantage, now 14. Double Doran's versus the Executioner's Calling. A pretty big start here for Alias, who was already trading so much better. Note as well, Curse level 4 to now level 5 to level 5. Watch how that lane goes with the wave management you're talking about before. Ward set out here by Alias up in the top side, so safety for now.
Yeah, Curse especially can just play by himself. He's fine as long as he has vision. He knows that Xiaohan isn't currently on the top side of the map. And we talked about that OMG really wants to get vision for their bot lane to consistently pressure these turret plates.
Especially when the bottom lane on the other side of the rift is up about 15 or 20 CS themselves. Now, it's always inaccurate looking towards Y4 and Max as a duo in the fasting center, but lethality picked up early here from SMLZ as FLICKR, with that control in the bottom lane with the early shove from this Varus, decides it's time to start the Dragon.
FLICKR using his bot lane priority to start the Dragon. Kind of a different thing we see of Cold resetting and walking to the mid lane by himself. Typically, you don't see Yumis do that, but SMLZ feels very safe in this bot lane playing against the Senna Tahm Kench, knowing, hey, I can play here by myself. And it does look like he forced Y4 back early and is just amassing that CS advantage like you talked about.
I mean, for SMLZ, let's remember again that this is his old team in 2017. It's good to see him returning back to form because much like FLICKR last year, he didn't have a good spring. He didn't have a good entrance into Suning, which was called the Super Team. FLICKR and SMLZ were both on that team. They were both pitted, some of the best in their individual roles, and they didn't live up to the hype. Now here on OMG, SMLZ feels like he's returning to the top tier 80 carry conversation.
SMLZ really struggled under Suning's style. Suning weren't very good at playing around these 5v5 team fights, which usually sets your 80 carry up for success. They were a lot more known as our 1-3-1, 1-4 kind of side laning team, which would typically leave SMLZ either vulnerable or just catching waves in the mid lane.
We can revisit the conversation about OMG 2017 because they were such a good team fighting team. It was the, what was it, the Cogmore Lulu or Twitch SMLZ used to play back in the day.
Another pick that stands out for me for 5 is the Rakan, which is another great teamfight engaged champion. Cole just...
Okay, Dominus with the double slice and dice. Curse going to flash away with World Ender. Mole came up here as well. So forcing the top laner out. Now for V5 looking for jungle rotation.
Victory 5 looking to capitalize on their win conditions, which is what we talked about. Snowballing this Renekton and snowballing this Lucian in the mid lane. OMG have done a great job so far at making sure that can't happen by shutting Xiaohan down, and they've consistently had a small gold lead this whole game.
About 200 in their back pocket for now at 8 minutes 30. Look at the poke though! Oh, lethality Varus with the Yuumi. It's a pretty dangerous combo.
And we've said this many times, you almost never see 2v2 kills in the bot lane unless it is one of those cheeky bush hook plays coming out from something like a Nautilus or a Thresh. But SMLZ and Cole just laying down the punishment. It's so hard to play Senna Tahm Kench against a Varus and a Yuumi.
And when you look at mid, you look at top, and you're like, okay, jungler's up here for OMG adding pressure. Now in the 2v1, Max in a bit of trouble, and that's free turret plating, but flash up here, no flash available for Curse, so he's going to die. It's just about what he takes with him, and the answer is nothing. Herald for that play. V5 trying to get something on the board.
Victory 5 have been playing really strong around their win condition, which is snowballing soul lanes, but maybe it would be better for them to look at denying OMG's win condition, which is, again, getting their mid and bot lane ahead and being able to freely poke these turrets.
And the mid lane is going to be massively ahead. Look at that gold over to FLICKR and Icon. He was already 10 CS up. He already had the serrated Dirk. That's a first item worthy gold back now.
Icon having a lot of gold in his inventory, like you said, will be able to pick up that first item and just continue this snowball. This is a very early game-oriented comp when you are running a full lethality style with the Varus and the Jace.
And let's not forget, if you're talking mid and bot, that OMG have had control of, hang on, Abyssal Voyage. Now, Max, sorry, wrong game, but I'm, yeah.
He's big on that Gragas.
Yeah, I was thinking, okay, he's on the way.
The problem here is that Abyssal Voyage we talked about, your only real engage tool on the side of Victory 5 is Xiaohan.
And you know what? After that, you're saying as OMG, well, Max doesn't have his ulti. Dragon's up in 1:30, and we've just taken the blue buff. So another free objective, another free advantage for FLICKR, who's been ahead all game long. Since that early clear error from Xiaohan, FLICKR's been ahead now 20 CS up with Runic Echoes.
We set up FLICKR has looked like a top 4 or 5 jungler in this league. He's having a very good season, and again, better and better each week. So now we do expect to see OMG just continue to play around.
Yeah, hang on. World Ender versus Dominus. I think Renekton wins this one. Curse gets a nice knock-up, but yeah. Alias is flexing alone in this top lane. He himself has almost a 40 CS advantage.
Alias has played so well this game on this Renekton pick. Alias has actually been the rock on this team in recent weeks where they've been flexing players and champions all around the map. He's consistently been put on Aatrox and Renekton duty and just pretty much done his job every game.
And for the first time ever, it feels like for Alias, okay, this game could be more about him, where when he plays the Aatrox, it's just a stable lane. He's left to fend for himself in fights. This game, it seems he's really flexing that advantage we talked about, almost with the Black Cleaver, but across the map, we're seeing a rinse and repeat. FLICKR has full control of this bottom side. A bit more turret plating going into the back pocket of SMLZ off the back of that as well.
You are going to consistently have full pressure in this bot and mid lane, so you'll always be able to pressure plates, pressure the dragon. But looking across the map, right now, Alias has a TP advantage. So we want to see if Victory 5 can set up some deep vision like they're trying to do right now. TP and Alias from behind, get that flank, and win a big team fight to get back in this game.
Or maybe just find Icon. There's the burst down. Mole gets Icon caught out through the mid lane, and a flash bop from Xiaohan.
Just disrespect coming out from Icon. You have not seen Mole show in the mid lane in quite a while. You do not see Xiaohan on the map himself. Overextending, very easy kill coming out for Victory 5.
And now, there you go. Solo lanes for V5 after this rough start. Could be the opportunity they needed, as FLICKR has to flash away as well. V5 in front of the Dragon have taken the mid laner. They've taken a summoner out of FLICKR. But can they contest this Dragon fully?
Good play from Mole and Xiaohan, but mistake from OMG setting their whole comp behind. And this is the flank we talked about.
You wanted to see Alias. There it is. SMLZ misses his ult as the Yuumi ult comes through as well. Flash away from the AD carry of OMG as Cold is now locked on down, blown back to Yuumi. Can't get on anyone. And there goes the support. And there goes the AD carry. OMG will trade back one onto Max and the Tahm Kench. But now Icon, who teleported in, who flashed in as well, has nothing. He dies again.
Victory 5 setting up the correct plays. Great flank coming in from Alias, extending his advantage from top lane to the bot lane, and now them coming out 4 kills ahead and being able to take this Dragon for free.
And FLICKR has to be careful where he steps. And on top of that as well, look, Curse will get first turret. That's a good trade in a way.
It's a trade in a sense, but
in a way.
OMG we're going to be able to force mid and bot turret regardless. So still, Victory 5 making the play that we wanted to see out of them.
And now, Xiaohan's caught up in levels. Xiaohan, for the first time this game, is pretty much even with FLICKR. So,
I do want to say on the side of OMG, you probably do feel pretty good if you're Cursed. Despite your team falling behind, you finally were able to get some farm.
Yeah, and the solo turret plating as well. But take me through this one, because OMG got caught out.
Yeah, it does look like Tahm Kench, Max did go in a bit too early, but Victory 5 getting that flank that we wanted to see out of them. Alias just jumping in, and right now Lucian and Renekton just do so much damage, being able to delete the bot lane of OMG. And we talked about when you have a champion like Gragas, he just has so much utility available to him.
Yep.
Great play coming out from Victory 5.
And now, look what happens because of it. You got 3 kills onto Alias in the top lane. The advantage that was gained here from Icon in the mid lane has fallen by the wayside. Turret plating will mean a lot here for the side of OMG, and really is the only reason right now why they're ahead in goal.
And we talked about at the beginning of this game the win conditions of this comp, and we kind of set up Victory 5 as this early game-focused comp. But so is OMG. So you have these two early game-focused comps kind of coming against each other, so you wouldn't really expect either comp to fall off too hard later in the game for the other not to be able to contest.
We know what it's like when you have lethality users that fall by the wayside early on.
Yes, lethality, of course, not scaling well into the late game just because of how much armor per level champions do get. The nice thing on the side of Victory 5 especially is you do have this Senna that's going to scale up nicely, and Gragas especially too, once he transitions into some tanky armor items, will be very hard for the side of OMG to kill him.
But for now, he's doing bursts with the Runic Echoes, and Xiaohan is performing so much better. The first blue buff of their game, it looks like, towards bottom side, given over to Mole. And now they're able to invade as OMG prioritize top. They've shifted the map, the turret goes down, and the second Herald will as well. So down but not out is the new story for OMG in the second game.
OMG just abused their winning lanes very hard early on, guaranteeing them mid and bot turret, made this swap towards the top side since there were no objectives on the bot side, get top turret and Herald. And when you do have this composition that wants to constantly be sieging, we talked about, you need to be ahead, you need to have the vision, and you can't let the enemy team get the jump on you like we saw before.
Because if you talked about vision in the bottom side, it was full control here for OMG in the early game. That shifted gears. V5, some deep control wards towards the red buff now. Gives Mole a bit of space through that mid lane. And you can see already Mole is starting to put out the damage with this Blade of the Ruined King. SMLZ at 1/4 health before was due to the full culling that came through from this mid lane Lucian, who's now level 11, who is close to Black Cleaver as well as his second item.
Mole does a lot of damage. Renekton does a lot of damage, and Black Cleavers in this game in general are going to have a lot of value. You have a lethality user in the Senna coming out from Victory 5 and 2 AD Soul Laners.
Yep.
You have a bunch of lethality on the side from OMG, so these cleave stacks are really going to mean a lot in these team fights.
And if you look at the other side of the Rift, on the side of OMG, double lethality item there on the Varus. We're not at a double lethality item for Icon yet, who again, doesn't feel like he has the same impact, but hang on a minute. We got a Yuumi, we got FLICKR, and that's a pretty dead Mole as he flashes over the wall. Repel can't get him. Both summoners used to get out of that one. And he survives for now. Will Icon do the same on this top side?
Looks like Icon will be fine. Isn't going to get the Gromp, but doesn't mean too much.
Oh, he wants to take the engage on to Xiaohan. Pops him in front of him. The Dawning Shadow's there as well. Damage comes through. Icon is a bit questionable here. Pops with the blast cone.
Questionable is the perfect word to describe that. I don't know why Icon is looking to challenge for that when you have push in the mid and bot lane and you are taking objectives elsewhere.
Because look at how successful this is. FLICKR misses the cocoon, but Max walking up to the Herald gets the charge still. That's big pressure play here for OMG. And if Icon didn't die, you'd be saying, okay, OMG, they're doing it again. The Chains of Corruption misses there. SMLZ with his poke stops the ulti. Very well timed.
Very well timed from SMLZ, and we've seen Icon make a couple of mistakes this game. Their team has been comfortably ahead on these rotations and objectives.
So take me through this one, because it's culling. It's a flash here from Curse. Cocoon flash. Oh, OMG. This is a shade of remembrance here for the 2019 style. V5 are trying to capitalize on it, but meanwhile, Cold and SMLZ through the mid lane might actually just have this turret. Oh, not yet.
OMG pulling Victory 5's members across the map.
Sorry, continue on.
Another thing to note is you look at the side of OMG, they have 3 teleports. It will be very easy for them to just constantly pull Victory 5 apart and be able to rely on these summoner spells compared to Victory 5 who only have Renekton to answer side lanes.
Keep note of that, because if it is a Renekton, I still have a bit of faith. He's 4-0 this game. Second item almost complete there as well for Alias. We got a Dragon coming up in a minute. Now, can Icon get that second lethality item before we go into the pit? Because SMLZ's on the way to his third, but this Jace has stopped doing damage against the majority of V5 members.
The thing we want to keep our eye out for going into this next Dragon is OMG have control of bot side, they have control of vision, that's good. They are doing what they need to do. Can Victory 5 group up as a unit, kind of push through mid, get vision control down, get another deep ward into OMG's jungle, and bring in Alias on another flank? Because
we've seen so far that for V5, around this objective, they've been pretty clean this game. 7 kills to 5, and Gold catching up here, when the turret plates are still really leading with that 1,600 gold advantage. And you're having a look here for Alias this game. You know, I guarantee you the 4,000 is damage. It's looking pretty confident here from the Renekton. You wanted to see them grouped up. Alia's not TPing, he's walking down.
He's walking down, but now the question is, can he get on to OMG's backline? We do really want to keep our eyes out also on Xiaohan. Can he hit a very good E-flash into a cast, kind of separating the members of OMG and letting Alias get on top of that Varus, get on top of that Jace?
Yeah, if you find any of those lethality users, it just feels like B5 are keen to win the fight from then on, but they're doing Dragon by themselves. So Xiaohan now have found SMLZ to flash away here with the chapter of whatever that was from Cold. Mol's going to put out the culling here onto FLICKR as well. Chasing forward with Blade of the Ruin King. The Cocoon lands onto the Renekton in the back line, so Alias can't follow up. And it's Dragon for a couple of summoners here against OMG.
OMG were the ones who were able to get that Dragon pickup, and Xiaohan wasn't able to throw out the cast and get SMLZ into his team, but you still did get the flash out from SMLZ, which will come in handy in later fights.
And now also with the ultimate not available here for Cold, that's going to be a very big difference. Cold still has the exhaust, but no heal as well. So a couple of key summoners that could influence how this next fight goes. For the time being, B5 are backing away. Dragon secured for OMG. The gold lead's still 1k in their favor. I'm curious to see what these next spikes are going to come through, because we've got a lethality second item waiting here for V4.
For Y4.
Y4, god damn it.
V4.
I've never done that before.
But again, it's very good for him to stack up these lethality items. You have double Black Cleaver coming out. You are going to apply these cleave stacks very easily, be able to take advantage of that. And let's highlight Xiaohan for a second, who has 100% kill participation, and it is another reason I love this Gragas pick. Gragas is a first rotation champion over in the LEC, and the reason is he's just so versatile. You're an engaged champion, you're a disengaged champion, you have strong early game setup, you match well with a lot of these
so
AD
much
solo
burst
laners.
as well, right?
Burst, you're a pseudo frontliner, you just have a lot of options available. So I really like this pickup and wish we would see it more over in the LPL.
And it's props to the player itself when Xiaohan was so far behind in this game off the tempo lost in that jungle camp, where now even down CS, he's pretty even in gold. He's got the Zhonya's Hourglass. Xiaohan has recovered, and it's merit to a jungler who fell behind that he can actually bring pace back into what was a losing game.
Yeah, and Xiaohan looked very good on Joy Dream and over on JDG.
Yeah.
So props to him, but FLICKR also, again, has just looked so good this game, this series, and on this team. So the battle of the junglers has been very interesting to see FLICKR abuse Xiaohan and then Xiaohan get back into this game.
That's what makes it fun, is they found one jungler Xiaohan has to body bop away. A good cocoon and the culling to come through. OMG take that as a win, and FLICKR even pushing the limit with Cold, looking to see what else they can find.
OMG just continuously wanting to play through these side lanes. We talked about when you have triple TP, you can just pull the members of Victory 5 apart, TP in, force that numbers advantage, get vision, siege. You have a lot of options. Victory 5, on the other hand, want to make the map really small, group up as 5, find vision, then send Alias to the side lane, and again, either TP in, walk in, just get this full-on 5v5.
But will we see the 1v1 here from Icon and Mol? I don't think so. I'm not even sure if he wins this anymore. Double lethality. Now picked up with the Yomu second. But Mol is walking away between Vision too. Icon was just waiting, but how long is he going to stay there? Chains of Corruption used here as well. The ultimate from the Yumi's. SMLZ picks up the first kill onto Y4. Oh no, for V5 it's gone wrong, but SMLZ can't redeem here as Mol picks up a massive shutdown in the nick of time.
We talked about that disengage coming out from the Chains of Corruption and the Yumi ultimate.
And Icon coming in as well, just slightly misses here onto Icon. The ultimate comes through once again. Ali is trying to come through. The 4-0 Renekton at a flank. And look, Xiaohan is not in the fight. So it's ult burn to disengage. And Dragon's not up to transition to.
Xiaohan getting poked out in the earlier exchange, meaning that Victory 5 can't take advantage of this opportunity to get on top of OMG. So great Chains of Corruption, great ult also coming out from Cold.
And they kill the Renekton though. Here comes the Sterix Gauge. Hacker's just going to get hit a little bit too hard. Hacker walks forward and clears out the ward. For Alias with no ultimate available, you can see how fickle he can be, but he's still tanky enough to support the full-on burst.
And we already see Curse back in the bot lane, setting up that bot wave. But here we see Victory 5 going for the engage. We talked about beautiful ultimates coming out from OMG, disengaging on V5. But Mole comes in on the end of that fight, still gets a pick onto SMLZ. And again, you don't feel too bad if you're Victory 5. You're not too far behind.
Especially not since there was a shutdown. A shutdown onto SMLZ means Mole now has a bit of a bounty on his back as well. Caulfield's Warhammer towards his third item getting picked up here. Essence Reaver here, Lyric. Is that what we're thinking? Third item for the Lucian? What are we going third? Caulfield's Warhammer could be many things.
Can it be many things?
Well, we've seen Edges and Knights on Lucians, by the way. So, anything. As Icon. Okay, we're going fast this time around. Mole's just dead. Oh no, reverse ultimate here as Icon is alive for now, but the Yuumi ult here from Cold as Curse gets the choke. That's all they need. OMG have this fight hand in hand. Y4 cannot re-engage. And Alias, who was 4-0, gives the gold back over to SMLZ. Perfect execution from the man previously known as 5. And Max, as he drops last, it seems that OMG have what they need now.
OMG fighting a beautiful pick onto Mole. We did talk about this was one of Mole's weaknesses, especially on this Lucian, continuously getting caught out by himself. And you right there highlighting Cold. Cold was one of the staple members on this roster, especially when he was known as 5. The longest tenured member consistently on this roster, being here since 2015 summer.
And a pick that I don't expect out of him on the Yuumi looks so damn good. 4 people survive. Icon runs in like the kamikaze and blows up with the help of Cold. Now for V5 around the back of the pit, they're using Y4, but he's just going to get engaged on. Cocoon may miss, but the burst damage is there. Teleport use as well as Alias. Hang on, there's no jungler in the pit. Stop it! Stop it! Oh my god. OMG on the brink. Cocoon from Hacker. What the heck was that? Well, they're going to turn to Mole anyway. They'll kill the Lucian once again. And now we're going super messy. Xiaohan comes in, and it's another explosion. That one was just humorous.
Complete miscoordination coming out from V5. If they had a way for Alias to get into the pit in unison with Mole using that ultimate, maybe they could have made something happen. Maybe they could have killed some members from OMG and taken that Baron. But here,
this is the fight.
We just see them catching off Mole, splitting him up from his team. Very easy damage coming out and great ultimate coming out from Cold.
Yeah.
And now Victory 5 are just kind of squished in the middle of OMG, and Kirsch jumping over the wall, hitting those Qs, and very easy for SMLZ to get off all this free damage on the backline unscathed.
Props to Icon for just running head first and trusting in Cold there as well. As part of the synergy, you know, we've talked about earlier in the series, but now for OMG, they've got an Infernal Soul on the way, but more importantly, they've got a 7k gold lead. They've got the most significant amount of gold in this game so far. And when we were just talking about this comp, you know, not really coming together, when we were talking about OMG falling a bit behind, that's all out the window once again.
It is all out the window. We did talk about in Game 1 that OMG have pretty much just outclassed Victory 5 in every way across the board. Coordination, team fighting, macro. In the silver lining for Victory 5 is they do look a lot more cohesive today than they have with their full roster, but OMG are just so good.
They are, and with this good TP from Curse, that's going to pop the dominance out of Alias. Now, this Renekton thinks he can get something, but he is very wrong. Hacker doesn't need to land the Cocoon because SMLZ lands in. Now for V5, talk about coordination. What the heck is this? The 80 carry left to everyone as OMG can now front to back. It's into Xiaohan. It's a triple kill for SMLZ. And if this is a penta, I'm sorry, but I'm not giving it too much. SMLZ, hit it, let him get it. Let him get it. Quadra kill. Now Mole, come back. SMLZ, this is your pentakill. Your team's trying to set this up. Underneath turret, Icon is suiciding as the TP comes through, and no! You bastard! That was so harsh.
To be fair to Cold, they couldn't let it go. Mole still has the flash. SMLZ wouldn't be able to get there in time, but still great use of teleports coming out from OMG. They have triple TP this game, executing on it beautifully. And we talked about Max's Tom Kench coming into this game. His Abyssal Voyages have been absolutely baffling this game.
They have.
And
we get to see more of them, though.
We do get to see more of them.
I apologize for my use of language there. That was inappropriate, but for SMLZ, he doesn't get the penta, he gets a quadra. And we'll start this one again, because for V5, they still wanted to go in after Alias was dead.
OMG, Curse already coming in with the TP, so it's already a number advantage, and Alias was the big member. Again, we use the word baffling for that Abyssal Voyage coming out from Max, and you're pretty much just running in one by one on the side of Victory 5, making it very easy for OMG to win.
We're going to do it again. SMLZ half health people anyway. And even though he gets low, Curse just runs forward. This game was done in that first fight once again that OMG set up. And now with one less member, they're going to toggle onto Y4. Eaten up by Max to save him, but Icon's still hungry for what's left. SMLZ is doing so much damage this game. And OMG just get a second inhibitor anyway. Look at Mole trying to fight back.
Victory 5, oh!
Flash forward onto SMLZ, Dawning Darkness flashed away from, or Dawning Shadow rather, as SMLZ jumped on by Alias. That's a good shutdown here as the last defense finally comes through, but now Curse is accelerated and Alias has pretty much dropped right about now. OMG, all they need to do is run this one in.
OMG just closing out a clean series, which is what we said we needed to see from them. The kill score is very deceiving. OMG almost always felt like they were in control of this game.
Yep, it was a nice run from V5. We saw some standard compositions with Xiaohan and Max returning, but OMG, their success continues on here. Nice explosive card. I think Curse is dead as well. He has to flash away. But an exposed Nexus is now reality as the Gragas Cocoon launched on Xiaohan's dead. 2-0 for OMG. Expectations right where they should be.
OMG just taking advantage